Hello everyone, welcome to day 176 of playing chess every day for you. Let's find the game. We're starting as black here and e4, so I'll play the standard. They actually play knight to c3 here, so I'm happy to take and go into a Tatakawa. And that's what we get. I'm quite sure the move here is just to bring the dark squared bishop out and then castle. I could force this bishop away though, which seems quite nice. They do have a check, but I think I'd just block. They can step back, that's okay. I'll develop my dark squared bishop. They can give me a check, but they don't. So they're not really threatening to come forward at the moment, so I can just go ahead and castle. I think my light squared bishop will be trapped for most of this game, unless I play on a6 and push. But I think pinning the knight is completely fine as well. I'll pin the knight, pin the bishop, and that should be fine. The queen comes out, has pressure on this. The knight isn't pinned anymore, but I can't really go anywhere, except for here. I have a check, but they just block. Could also pin the bishop. I could trade the knight, pin the bishop, and then attack the bishop. I think that's a good plan. So now I'll pin the bishop to the king and just go for the attack. They actually castle long, which seems very weird because they're weakening. They have very weak dark squares around their king. I wish I had some sacrifice, but I mean, if the pawn wasn't defending the bishop, I'd be able to sacrifice my rook because I'd potentially be able to pin the queen. My knight's being stopped from development. I don't think trading this bishop off is that good for either of us. I could just slowly improve my knight, which seems okay. This is a very weak square at the moment. If I could force the queen away, it would be good for me to attack the bishop after, but yeah, I'm not really sure what to play right now. I think I just developed the knight. That doesn't defend my bishop, but they're not threatening anything at the moment. They don't really have any sacrifices. They play h4, which looks interesting. I could play f5 with the idea of putting my knight on d5. But then I guess the bishop would just take it. Pushing seems like a good move, but I mean pushing, if they ever take, I take with the knight and I have a fork. Pushing undefends this though. So maybe I could bring my rook over and then push. So pushing, if they push, it walks into a fork. So I think that's my idea actually at the moment, is to push, because if they push, I have a fork. And if they take, I take with the knight. And I get to weaken the structure. So c5 is actually my move. And they cannot allow me to play c5, c4. Because that's just a pure fork. I could have played a5 trying to trap the bishop, but they could always just push. They pushed there, but I'm not really scared of that move. I'll play c5 and then c4 if they don't do anything. If they take, I have to take with the knight. Yes, if I take with the bishop, that's not so good. I can take with the knight, but that would leave my bishop hanging. If I take with the knight, they can take here. But actually, then I take here with the check. So I'd win a piece, a pawn, and be able to take the queen. That's a fair trade, I think. So if I take here and they take here, I'll just take. Everything's defended, everything's fine. They would have a check, but it wouldn't do anything. Take with the knight here. They can take with the bishop, which I think is the best move. If they take my bishop, I just take with check. Ooh, this might have been a big blunder though, because they're just winning a bishop. Although if they take, I do have a check, which would allow me to take the queen. But if they take check, they can go back. I don't really like that much. I think this rook would help me win material, but I think this was a bad move from me. And silly move, because they can just take the bishop. They take my knight, we just trade down. I don't think they should take my knight. That'd be very bad for them. I think the bishop is just hanging, and they can take it. They take the bishop. I can't really attack the queen in any way. Queen takes bishop is the best move. I've blundered with this move here, c5, knight to c5. Okay, so they chose to play queen to d5, which threatens checkmate. Checkmate against my king. But I think with this move they actually blundered, because they've blundered with this move. Well, it's not really checkmate, I can always go to h8, but this move blunders because I get to save my knight and just bring my bishop back. Really, this would be pinned to my queen, so I do have to be careful. I can just take the bishop here with check, forces the queen to take. Now I can actually save my bishop by going here. I move my queen off the diagonal and I think I'm completely fine. They've completely blundered with that move. I'm very lucky to have survived that. I think queen c7 is just the best move here. They're threatening to attack my bishop now, so I think I have to move my queen just to c7. Next I could actually go to pin the bishop to the king, which would win me a pawn because of my rook being here. They haven't developed the rook on the h-file. I'm very lucky that they didn't play queen takes bishop. I think they blundered there. That's a huge miss from them. I think if they take the bishop, they just win a piece. Instead they go to d5, which is wrong, I think. And here obviously I'm threatening to trap the bishop and win a pawn. Although, if I take, they can just take because the queen would defend, so not really. I mean, the queen isn't trapped at the moment, but it doesn't have many good squares. If I play a5, a4, it has to move. They just slide their rook over. I don't know if that's a good move. So if I attack the bishop, if they take, I take with check, so they don't want to take. I'm not really threatening anything there. I'm actually just undoubling their pawns, which is not good. I could go after this. I mean, I could kick the queen. Tempoing the queen seems very good. The queen doesn't have very many squares. They're not threatening to take anything at the moment. They are lining up on this, but they can't really attack it. I'll play a5 here. I'm threatening to kick the queen away. And that would give them 2 sets of doubled pawns if they ever slide to c3. If they go here... Okay, so they come in with the bishop, but I think that just gives me a check, which would win me the piece almost, so they kind of have to give up the piece. I can take with check here. So now I think the plan is just to... I could double up on this, obviously. This no longer traps the queen. I mean, a4 wins space, but then this is very weak. This will be weak either way, but I could come in and just start attacking these pawns, which could be very good. I could also slide down here to keep pressure on these two. I think rook in is a good move, but then they're threatening to take. Because rook in, if they take and I take the queen, it's actually mate for them. So I probably play h6 now, just to stop any back rank problems. I could play g6, but I don't like having this weakness. So I'll play h6 here. I have to keep my king safe. And then now I'll play rook e2 and taking on f2. Winning this pawn will be very useful for me. Rook comes in. I don't think that's a good move. I can just go here and take. I could tempo the queen, but the queen would just slide up. But I mean, tempoing the queen would undefend this square, so I think that could be very good for me. Maybe I can slide down, tempo the queen, and then double up on this pawn, which seems very good, so that's what I'll do right now. But if I slide here, this move looks very dangerous. Although then I'd have a check, I'd have mate, so they can't play that. I just slide down, I think. I'm completely fine. My next idea is to kick the queen away. Or maybe double up on the pawn first and then kick the queen away. They can double up on here. If I push, they can take, and take. And my king's very open. So push, take, take. I can play here to attack the king. I can't really allow them many checks. I think I have to push here. They do take. I can threaten mate right now, actually, by a queen over. If they push, that's very good for me. If they take, I think that's terrible for me, so I have to take. And the pawn is actually pinned. So I'm in big trouble here. I have to play rook up, I think. Wow, I'm in huge trouble here. So if I go here, they can give a check, but that'll actually blunder. So here they can just take. I'm in massive trouble here. So rook takes with check. Oh wow, I can actually take because... No, so rook takes with check. Yeah, that's just terrible for me. King over here just blunders me in one. I can't take. I can step my king up, but they just take with check. I'm completely losing here. If I can draw the rook away from the back rank, that would be very good for me. I could sacrifice the queen. I don't think that's a good idea, unless they take with the rook, which would blunder me. I could take with the queen this way, because if the rook takes and I take and they take, their back rank's very weak. I mean, I think I have to sacrifice a queen here. Don't see what else I have. They can just take here, because the pawn's still pinned, and I think I just blundered there by playing that. And they almost have forced mate. Yeah, queen takes here is actually almost mate. I only have this square. And queen g7's mate, wow. My king was actually very, very weak this game. And I ended up losing. Queen g7 is checkmate. They take on h6. Let's look at this game. So they played with an 82, I played with a 66. I did have one huge blunder, and I'm quite sure it's when I played my knight move. So we go into Tactical, this is all okay. It's actually best to play a5 here. And keep kicking the bishop away. Castling's good, pinning isn't the best. a5 is actually the best move here. Rook over isn't the best, it's best to put the knight there. Which I did want to do, but... And pushing is actually a mistake, because they can just take. And well, so the knight move wasn't actually the bad move. The very bad move was the push. Because they take, I'm in big trouble. Yeah, they did completely miss. They completely missed taking my bishop, like I said. It will just leave them up a piece. Then my check doesn't even do anything. They're attacking me. They completely missed this. And the position's completely equal here. Queen down was a mistake. I thought it was a good move. They can double up. I should have gone... So I should have gone to this square. And actually threatened mate. That makes a lot of sense. Because this... If I go to this square... If they make any kind of move, I'm not sure what their best move would be. I don't know what they have really. Let's say they make any kind of move. Let's say they double up now. That blunder may, but that'd be very good for me if my queen was on here. And so the biggest mistake this entire game was g6. I had to go back with my queen, which is such a weird looking move to play that I missed it. It's the only defensive move that works though. And then I could have doubled up. Let's say they made a move. I could have doubled up. Well, this blunders me. But if they pushed, after this move they pushed, I could have doubled up. Yeah, I don't know. It's not great for me. g6 is a terrible blunder. And taking is actually wrong. I meant to block the pin on this pawn. I did see this. I just thought this was terrible for me. Double check. And I'm just losing material. That's actually incredible that in this position it'll be either mate in 1 for white or mate in 1 for black. 1 square difference. But g6 was the move that lost me the game. They can just come in and there's nothing I can do. And the position was completely equal here. I just missed the idea of queen h7 and played g6 instead. That loses me the game. So I think that'll be it for today, guys. Thank you for watching and I'll see you tomorrow.